Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? I've got a wall trap for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let's go. Hey, what's up, guys? So pretty much I've got my wall HP at 1 point, like, what, 1.2? 1 point, yeah, it's 1.3 or so. It's not a whole lot, but yeah, again, I'll go ahead and kind of give you guys a good look at this. So, I've got my stats over here at about 434, 150% trap attack just from the leaders alone, and then 317 to the trap defense. I got 181 over the HP, and then I got 577% into the wall defense boost. Now, that's just, with the stats completely combined and everything. So, again, you're wondering, how at 270 million might could you get someone to hit you? The answer is, I honestly, that's anyone's guess, but, they scouted me and they figured that 400,000 troops was easy to solo. Little did they realize that I have a wall that is mostly all the way maxed out. Again, it was lagging at the time, so as you can tell, the servers are a little bit buggy, and you can see here that the traps do go down a little bit. This is probably the only thing that, personally, I feel like is maybe the only issue in regards to the actual form of wall trapping in itself, is that you're really dependent on the traps. Of course, I am buffing up the amount of archers I have, in the hopes that this will eventually solve the issue, but as you can tell, it pretty much guts the tier 3 buffer that he sent almost every single time. And not only will it gut it, but then it also adds a considerable chunk over into the actual wounded category. Now again, I noticed that, out of, so many troops, they do have a pretty high amount of troops that are getting, for the most part, they're getting out of it scot-free. The only way I can see how I can change this is that I will be increasing the amount of damage that those traps are doing, and then I will increase the amount of range I have on that wall. And those are the only things I feel like at this point I can improve upon that will ultimately do a lot more damage down the road. And again, it's still experimental. We're still playing with some fairly interesting concepts. But you can see here that even after, a couple of hits, I've only got 25,000 of the remainder that I have left. Now, again, that can be changed with some more research and a little bit more into what I've got. But again, that's pretty decent for what we're getting so far. I mean, it surprises me that we're even able to stop someone right in the tracks at tier 4, and they can't really go through the wall no matter how they try. They're not even remotely damaging. Like, that is 0 damage. I mean, absolutely 0. So he's not even coming close. To my surprise, he's even throwing destroyers at this wall, and it's not even coming close. And again, look at the gear. Okay, you can see this guy's 400 million might. He's 125 million kills. He's packing pretty decent gear, and it's flopping. And I point these things out because, again, you just really never know what you're gonna get. And I mean, again, just for your own visual pleasure, as you can tell, it does seem to come up as effective. And again, I think the more damage that we do, I think we'll eventually get it to where we can not only will it bounce, but we'll cap the leader too while we're at it. And again, I feel like we'll get there eventually. But again, as I'm sitting here showing you these reports and everything, you can see I'm in war gear. I'm just in all trap based gear. I think if anything, I'll switch out in the near future. I might be switching out that for the Orb of Pestilence, but we'll see here in a bit. Because again, I'm noticing trap is gonna become an issue, and I can see why. But again, he goes in for the next 2 marches. And again, I'm just sitting here looking at both. You can see I don't have a whole lot of traps left. And it does cost a lot. That is one of the big issues that you'll ever have with wall trapping, is that eventually you will just get tapped out because of the actual traps. Because you have a limit, it's a little limiting. Now, I think if you add a lot of range, I think it will certainly help. But as you can tell, even in that hit, 40,000 dead, and still nothing to really say for it. It's purely dead, but once you start to run low on traps, it pretty much becomes nil and pointless. It just doesn't have enough weight to it anymore for it to be any good. But it still does a fairly decent job of actually keeping someone on their toes. And I think on the next iteration of this, we will add nothing but tier 4 traps and just see what happens with a mix because up to this point we've only been using tier 4 infantry traps and range tier 3 traps. So here in the near future I will be showing you some more of this, but with maximum stats, hopefully, to kind of at least get an idea of just how well will this actually pan out. And as you can tell, I mean, the wall just doesn't fall. It, like, no matter what, you know, it just doesn't fall. I mean, the wall's just completely bouncing. And you can see that even though, you know, those, I mean, the siege and the range are doing what they can, it's not even doing anything. Like, to my surprise, it's actually working surprisingly well. And again, you know, I hopefully will have more of, more like, hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully, we'll be able to get to a point where the damage on these is so good that we'll be killing a little over, say, you know, 70k to 100k. But I mean, again, just time and time again, with and without the leader, you can see without the leader, it just falls. The morale just falls. Like, there's no hope in actually being able to actually win a fight against him. I think this wall trap stuff, as far as I'm concerned, guys, is it's great if you're long-term like me. You know, if you're starting out, I think it's really expensive. It takes a lot of time and effort. I don't necessarily recommend it for the guy that's starting out, but if you want to play defensive and defensive purely, then go for it, because it seems to me that it does work, but it does take some pretty decent pay-to-play gear to be able to do it effectively. And again, as you can tell, that wall, I mean, just doesn't fall. I mean, there's little to nothing that wall's willing to withstand. And eventually, I will see how this pans out, even in rallies, to just kind of get an idea of just how well this actually does hold up. But, I mean, even still, I mean, you can tell that, you know, I mean, the beauty of wall trapping, I feel, is it just makes it so comfortable. You really don't need to have a lot of troops. It makes it so that, you know, if you're a rally lead and you want to rally with little to no troops, this is perfect. But needless to say, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.